drives one in the air. Deep right field. It's got a chance. Grand slam.
Way back it might be. It could be. Cubs win. Cubs win. Cubs win. Holy cow.
The Dingers podcast is on the air. I'm your host, Mitch. Cubs win the series, but another missed opportunity. They take 2 of 3 from Toronto after being swept by the Guardians. They needed a big sweep, and it didn't come. Feels like another missed opportunity for the Chicago Cubs with 37 games left to go in the schedule. Do they have enough time to get into the playoffs? I don't know. But before we get into all that, I want to talk about the B4 Bat app. Dingers podcast. Today, I want to talk to you about something that's truly transformed the way that I, as a coach, work with young players, and especially my own kids. I'm talking about the B4 Bat app. For those who haven't heard of the B4 Bat app, it is an incredible tool that lets you track your exit velocity, launch angle, and more, all from your iPhone. No fancy bat sensor or expensive equipment needed. Just your iPhone, a tripod, and you're good to go. I use the B4 Bat app daily with my son and daughter, and the results have been phenomenal. It provides valuable data and video feedback that helps fine-tune their swing. My son absolutely loves it. He gets a kick out of watching his videos of his swing, and especially enjoys tracking his exit velocity. It's like a game for him, trying to find that perfect launch angle to maximize his exit velocity. For me, it's been amazing to see how much this app has really helped improve their swings. And that immediate feedback and data that they get are a game changer. So if you're looking to get that valuable data and insight for your own slugger and for them to hit maybe some more dingers this season, I highly recommend checking out B4 Batting app. You can go to b4.app.com or search B4 Batting in the App Store. Trust me, you and your kids will love it. Now, let's get back to hitting some more dingers. Well, the Cubs could sure use the B4 Bat app on Sunday, losing 1-0. Another 1-run loss, put that on the board. But there's a lot to take away with this Toronto series. After getting swept by the Guardians, and you're only 3 games back at the wild card. Again, the Cubs give us hope and then rip it away. Going into the Blue Jay series, you know you need a sweep. And even from game 1, it's the Players Weekend. It's 1:20 Friday, and you get up and you have Hector Neris again, making that 9th inning a struggle. And that's where I want to start. Of just, I'm done with Hector Neris. Hector Neris, no reason why he should be getting high leverage situations. He has not proven over the course of this year, and this is where I put another thing on council. How do we not make changes? How do we not get to the point where we identify that this isn't working and we make a change? Especially now in the second half, our bullpen has been rock solid. You have Tyson Miller, who's been rock solid. You have a ton of guys in the bullpen that you can now trust, where I get at the beginning of the season, the first half, yeah, throw Neris out there. But every single 9th inning, he makes it a struggle. Never a clean inning. Just doesn't have it. And so Friday is one of those other cases where we have to go into extras because Neris can't close the door in the 9th inning. Saturday, thank you, Michael Busch. And then Sunday, the offense is dead. In this team, it just gets a feel like they're having an identity crisis. They don't know who they are. And I felt like this for a long time. I haven't brought it up on the podcast, but when I look at this team, like especially Sunday, the wind's blowing in and Council starts. Patrick Wisdom at third base because Isaac Paredes has a shoulder issue, so he's out. When you have opportunity to put in Bodie, who I would say is a better contact hitter, better at hitting line drives. And we're relying on the long ball in a game where the wind is howling in, balls hit over 100 exit velocity are getting caught, not even on the warning track. And we're starting Patrick Wisdom, hoping for a dinger. And a lot of times, a lot of games, it feels like we're losing these one-run games because we're waiting for that big dinger. And I know we're the Dingers podcast. We want dingers, but that if you look at this team and you compare them with like the Brewers, they're very comparable. The difference is that the Brewers know who they are, and they're not relying on the home run. They're extremely clutch with runners in scoring position of getting the base hit or hitting the fly ball to drive in the run or just doing the right thing, the baseball play. And the Cubs just feels like they're relying on the home run. It's like they're Willie Mays Hayes in Major League Two. They think they're home run hitters when their best attribute right now is speed and contact and putting the ball in play. And they've totally lost who they are. We're trying to rely on Seiya Suzuki and Bellinger and Dansby Swanson to hit dingers, and that just isn't happening this year, and that's not who they are as players, really. Like Bellinger, yeah, but he's not who he was in 2017. So I feel like that comes down to a manager, right? That comes down to Craig Counsell of being able to get players to understand what type of team they are. You have PCA, one of the fastest players in the league. You have Nico Horner, who stole a ton of bases last year. This year, none, and he hasn't been hitting. You have speed, and you could play small ball. Like you could win with small ball. This team could win with playing small ball, and I'm okay with that. But they're on paper just as good as the Brewers, but the Brewers know who they are and play to their strengths. And the Cubs try to play to their weakness and try to be somebody that they're not and hopefully try to win games. They have good starting pitching. Their bullpen has been one of the best in the second half, and they still are losing games that they should win. And yes, in Sunday, it just felt like we were just like waiting for that long ball, and it didn't come. And this team, it's not going to come. They don't have the home run hitters. When you look at the lineup, Hat can get into one. Yeah, Seiya can get into one. But that's not like they don't have Aaron Judge, they don't have Soto, they don't have like the lineup that other teams have that do have the pop. They don't have the Bryce Harpers, they don't have the Kyle Schwarbers, they don't have the Nick Castellanos. Like they don't have that. And so what they do have is speed. You look at even the Arizona Diamondbacks last year. That was a perfect example of they knew who they were and they used that to their strength in the second half. They had Corbin Carroll running the bases. They just knew who they were. And the Cubs, it just seems like they don't know who they are. A little bit of identity crisis. And you look into next year, and the big thing that's weighing over us is Cody Bellinger. Is he going to opt in, or is he going to opt out? And it's kind of like the Marcus Stroman. Like we were waiting. Like, is he going to opt out? Because hopefully he opts out, because then we can spend that money elsewhere. Cody Bellinger is the same thing. We wanted him in the offseason. Everybody wanted him, but now it's like it's handcuffing us to be able to go get the things that we need to make 2025 better. And so I know as soon as the World Series gets over that week, I'm going to be sitting there waiting to hear if Cody Bellinger opts in. Because if he opts in, I'm not going to be as hopeful in 2025 as I would be if he opts out. Because if he opts out, basically if he opts in, he's stuck at right field, because PCA is going to be starting in center. Michael Busch is going to be starting at first base, because Matt Shaw, I believe, next year is going to be the starting second baseman, and Nico Horner is going to be traded. But then it leaves Bellinger to right field. And just like last year with Marcus Stroman, we put that money better to use with getting Imanaga. And so I don't know, like it handcuffs us for next year with this Cody Bellinger opt-in. And that's going to be a big thing because you have really every other position is kind of locked down. I mean, Isak Paredes locked down at third. Swanson locked down at short. Hap locked down. You have PCA probably locked down. The only positions really open are right field, maybe with Saya moving to more to DH. You have catcher position, and then I think second base is a position we can get better, but I think that's going to be filled by Matt Shaw, if anything. So hopefully we can use the Nico Horner trade when we trade him to shore up the catching position. We can go out and get ourselves a right fielder. Now, news on the street was that we're going to be in on Corbin Burns, which I think is a front to basically prove that we are not going to be in on Juan Soto at all. I think they're getting this out there. I think the Cubs are using Bruce Levine to be able to get that news out there, to be able to say, we're not going to be in on Juan Soto. So don't expect the Cubs to be in any talks to be able to bring Juan Soto into the friendly confines, because it isn't going to happen. Now, would I love Corbin Burns in this pitching rotation? Yes, obviously. He's a great pitcher. And then we are kind of mimicking what made we're successful, is having really solid starting pitching. And then we need to go out and spend our money and get a closer. And then we just get by with our offense. But again, we're mimicking small market teams. We're a big market team. We should be making better use of our money, which we haven't. We've spent a lot of money, but it hasn't been a good investment in the product on the field. And I put that on Jed Hoyer. So just a lot of struggle when you look at the season and the failure that it was. But we do have an easy road in the next 17 games that crazier things have happened, and we can make a run and we could still squeak into the playoffs or make this exciting towards the end. But I'm not as hopeful. We do have the Detroit Tigers coming into town today, which is fun because it's going to be the return of Javi Baez, one of my favorite players, one of my son's favorite players growing up. I love Javi Baez. I love the excitement. I love the way he played. Now, he is a different player than he was back in 2017, 2018, 2019, which made him so fun to watch. Even 2016 playoffs of fun to watch him grow up. But he's went to Detroit and struggled. And this will be the first return. I think it's just him and Rizzo who has not returned to Wrigley and played the Cubs. So that's going to be, which Rizzo will get his shot here. When is it? September 6th is when Rizzo comes to town. So here in the next couple of weeks, we're going to have some reunions, some tribute videos, which will be fun in a season that's been rough to have these little things pop up. So it's going to be fun today to watch the highlight video of Javi Baez, which it's going to be electric. That all the plays that he made for the Chicago Cubs, and they were fun, exciting. He played with a intensity that just love to see. And so, yeah, it's going to be exciting, but it's 3 games that we should win. We should win. And so I'm interested. I'm going to be watching. I don't think we're going to make the playoffs, but there's going to be players that I'm going to be watching and see how they play the rest of the season. PCA is going to be one. I'm going to be watching how he works at bats. Does he learn to take his walks? I'm going to be watching bullpen arms. And I'm going to be watching what the Cubs do of bringing up guys. Are they going to bring up Owen Casey, which I heard they are? Are they going to be bringing up Matt Shaw? I don't think so, because they'd have to make room. Neely, I'd love to see Neely come up, and the guy who we got in the trade from the Yankees, would love to see him get a shot here in September. And then I'm going to be watching Cody Bellinger. Will he play well enough to be able to entice him to opt out for more money? those are the guys that I'm going to be looking at of how they're doing. Nico Horner, I'm going to be watching how he plays. Can he play well enough here down the stretch where they can maybe increase his trade value? Yeah. So looking ahead, they have Detroit for 3, Marlins for 3, Pirates for 3, and then the Nationals for 4 to finish out this month of August. Disappointing, but it'll be fun to watch the Javi return. Hopefully he gets a home run in a game that we're up big and we can have that fun celebration. I want to see him make a sweet tag play. It'll be fun to hopefully see the old Javi return. Just hopefully he doesn't crush us and the old Javi returns to beat us and really put us out of our misery and really kick us out of the playoff hunt. But yeah, it's tough when these off days, and we've had a lot of them lately, and the season's pretty much over, to be able to talk Cubs and figure out trying to find the diamonds in there to talk about. But yeah, that's all I have for this episode of the Dingers Podcast. Thanks for listening, and go Cubs.